Hello and welcome to ABC Interactive English. I am Mike.
And I'm Hanny.
And welcome to our very special Chinese New Year edition of the Stories and Fables unit. Gongxi, gongxi, Hanny. Gongxi, gongxi.
Gongxi, gongxi, Mike. Do you have a red envelope for me?
You know what? I think I left the red envelope in my other pair of pants at home. Oh, darn. But yes, giving and receiving red envelopes full of money, like the one I will definitely remember to bring for Hanny, is one of the most common and popular traditions of Chinese New Year.
Okay, but of course, there are lots of others too. Most people will visit their relatives, have a big meal, enjoy a nice holiday from work or school, and maybe wear some red clothing.
Yes, I'm wearing my lucky sort of red sweater today, you see? There you go.
Yeah, me too, but you need a bright red shirt.
I do. Or red underwear. I also remember that's quite lucky if you're playing your mahjong games and stuff. So wearing red, giving red envelopes, the big family dinners, these are all wonderful traditions. But where did these traditions and other traditions all come from?
Well, we will be reading all about that in our Stories and Fables unit over the next 3 days.
We will. And we'll also be learning about the origins of Chinese New Year in the story of a scary monster. It should be very good. So let's get to it. But first, we need to learn more about all of the new vocabulary today. And while Hanny does that, I will go and look for that red envelope. Maybe I dropped it around here somewhere.
这次我们要来读年兽的故事。那从前有一只怪兽，它体型庞大，力大无穷，看起来像是一只头上长角的狮子。那这只怪兽被称为年。我们先来看2个单字 ，monster。Monster 就是怪兽、怪物、妖怪，它是名词。例如 ，Jack drew a picture of a scary monster. Jack drew a picture of a scary monster. Jack 画了一张恐怖怪兽的图画。下一个单字 lion 是狮子，它也是名词。例如 ，The kids were excited when they saw lions at the zoo.The kids were excited when they saw lions at the zoo. 小朋友们在动物园看到狮子的时候都感到很兴奋。好，那故事接着写到，每年农历年节前夕，这只怪兽它会攻击海边的一座村庄，会吃村里的农作物、动物，甚至是吃掉人，村民们都很害怕。好，刚刚说农历年节前夕，我们用到 Eve 这个字 ，Eve。就是前夕，是个名词。那它可以是用来表达节日啊，或是重大事件的前夕，像跨年夜啊，或者是大考前夕等等。例如 ，What are your plans for New Year's Eve? What are your plans for New Year's Eve? 你跨年夜有什么计划吗？最后一个单词 attack 表示攻击，它是个动词。例如 ，The man was attacked by a kangaroo.The man was attacked by a kangaroo. 那名男子被一只袋鼠攻击了。好，现在看完单字例句，我们来读课文吧。Long ago, there was a monster, and it was called Nian. It was big and powerful. It also looked like a lion with a horn on its head.Every Chinese New Year's Eve, Nian would attack a village by the sea. It would eat its crops, animals, and even people. Everyone lived in fear of Nian. Explanation 1.
All right, so our article for this month is, as we mentioned, all about the origins of Chinese New Year. And it's also about a scary monster who helped to inspire some of the traditions of the holiday. And we get the name of that monster right there at the top of our article in the title. And that title is The Story of Nian.
这次要读的是年兽的故事。我们知道过年有许多传统，像是贴春联、放鞭炮、穿很有喜气的红色衣服等等。那年兽的传说似乎可以用来解释这些传统的起源。我们补充一下 ，tradition 就是指传统，那么 origin 它可以用来指起源或是源头，还有 firework 是指烟火啊，烟火表演，它常常用复数形 fireworks 来表达。还有 firecracker 这很重要，就是鞭炮、爆竹的意思。Okay, let's begin reading. The first sentence of the article tells us, long ago, there was a monster and it was called Nian.
Ooh, and who was this terrible monster? Well, next we learn it was big and powerful. Well, sure, if it wasn't big and powerful, it would be small and weak. And that wouldn't be much of a monster, would it? That would be a mouse or a baby kitten, but not a scary monster in that case.
No, not a very good monster at all.
A bad monster.
So, Nian was big and powerful. Well, that's a good start. And what about its appearance? What did it look like?
Scary, I hope.
Well, me too. Let's read on to find out. The next sentence tells us it also looked like a lion with a horn on its head. That does sound pretty scary. A big lion with big teeth and claws and horn too? Wait. Just one horn?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I read our story earlier. Did Nian have just one horn like it says in our story? Or was it supposed to be two horns like you might expect?
So what did you find out?
Well, Google was a little confused about this. No one has any real pictures of Nian, apparently. In some of the drawings, though, that I saw, Nian has two horns, kind of like a cow or a bull. And yeah, it looks pretty scary, but also kind of cool. Big, powerful lion, big horns like a bull. Arrgh. It's a good look, you know. It looks kind of nice and handsome. But in other pictures, it's just one big horn coming out of the middle of its head.
Like a unicorn.
Exactly. I think a Nian with one horn would be a much better choice if a monster was trying to scare people. But two horns is more handsome, for sure.
同学们想象中的年兽长什么样子呢？课文描述的年兽，它体型庞大，力大无穷，看起来就像一只头上长角的狮子。那如果只有长一只脚，不就是独角兽了吗？听起来好像有点可爱，但它应该会有锐利的牙齿，还有爪子。我们补充一下 ，powerful 就是强而有力的。那么角 horn 就是角。我们刚才也说到 claw， 它可以指动物的爪子，还有 unicorn 就是独角兽。Okay, so it's decided. Nian is a big, scary lion with one and only one horn on its head.
I agree. So, what did this big, scary monster with only one horn actually do? Well, he scared people. Duh. But when did he scare people? Another good question, and one we get the answer to in the next part of our article. It says, every Chinese New Year's Eve, Nian would attack a village by the sea.
And what would Nian do to the village and the people who lived there? Well, we'll find out after Daphne tells us all about our first grammar point of the day. Let's go over to her right now.
大家好，我是 Daphne。今天的第一则文法是 by the sea， 意思是在海旁边。by 是介系词，意思是在点点点旁边。The sea 是名词，意思是海洋。 By the sea 就是在海边，是地方副词片语，使用的时候通常摆在句子的尾巴。例如 Karen had a barbecue by the sea. Karen 在海边烤肉。
Okay, so Nian is ruining everyone's day at some little village by the sea. Arr! And what would Nian do to this poor little town? Well, the next sentence in our article tells us it would eat its crops, animals, and even people. Arr, arr, arr. Wow, so I guess Nian would eat all the local people and the visitors to that town. It really doesn't care. What a terrible monster.
And of course, for everyone there, this was scary, really scary. As we reach our break, it says, everyone lived in fear of Nian. I think that makes perfect sense.
Sure, Nian is very scary looking, and it also eats or destroys everything it sees. So, who is going to stop this terrible monster Nian? Superman? Batman? The Avengers? No, none of those guys, since they are busy that day or something. Nian is on the loose, and there's nothing anyone can do. How awful. Well, actually, maybe one person can stop Nian. Who, you ask, and how? Well, I'll tell you. Teacher Daphne, using the power of grammar. Well, yeah, maybe not. But anyways, here's Daphne with our second grammar point.
第二则文法是 in fear of 加名词，意思是对点点点感到恐惧。in 是介系词，意思是处于点点点状态。Fear 是名词，意思是害怕、恐惧。后方用介系词 of 引出恐惧的人、事、物。例如 Melinda lives in fear of her father. Melinda 很害怕父亲。
谢谢 Daphne 老师的讲解。刚刚说到每年农历年节的前夕，年兽会攻击海边一座村庄，吃村里的农作物啊、动物，甚至是人类。听起来真是一场可怕的噩梦。那我们补充一下 crop 就可以用来指农作物。我们刚刚还用到 awful 是形容糟糕的、可怕的或是吓人的。Mike 老师还有用到 on the loose 来描述年兽，就是没有受到拘禁，它是行动自由的状况。那我们常会用来表达说被放生啊，或是逍遥法外的语义。那我们要先休息一下，待会再继续读故事咯。Okay, it's time for our break. We'll go and do that, and then we'll be back to keep reading. They didn't know how to stop Nian, so they would run and hide in the mountains. They were doing just that when a stranger came to their village one year. Explanation 2.
So, Nian is here. It's eating everything and everybody. Nothing can stop it, and it looks really scary too. This is awful.
I agree 100%. And for the people that Nian didn't eat, there didn't seem to be a way to end this nightmare. The next sentence in our article tells us, they didn't know how to stop Nian. Well, as Mike mentioned, there weren't a lot of superheroes running around then, and there was no gun or army powerful enough to kill a scary monster like Nian.
No, it's a bad, bad situation. So let's take a break to learn about today's final grammar point, and hopefully when we come back, anyone will have a plan for how to fight the evil monster Nian.
第三则文法是 somebody knows how to 加原形动词，意思是某人知道如何做某事。know 是及物动词，意思是知道。三态是 know, knew, known。后方接 how to 加原形动词，如何做点点点当受词。例如 Sylvia knows how to cook. Sylvia 知道怎么做菜。
Nian is powerful. Nian is hungry. Nian is here to eat you, everything you own, and the village that you live in. So, if they couldn't fight Nian, the people in the village, well, they did the next best thing. They ran away. Far, far away. As it says, so they, the people in the village, so they would run and hide in the mountains. Well, yeah, they would pack their bags and head up to the mountains to find somewhere safe to hide from Nian. I guess the village would still get ruined and their animals would still be eaten, but at least the people would be safe.
But just when they were packing up to run away and also thinking that nothing would or could ever change, well, a stranger came to town. As we read in the final sentence of our article for today, they were doing just that when a stranger came into their village one year.
Aha! Who could this be? The hero they have been waiting for? Or just some guy who chose the worst place to spend his holiday? Well, the only way to find out is to come back and join us tomorrow for part 2 of the story of Nian. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Nian, then. Bye-bye.
The story of Nian. Long ago, there was a monster, and it was called Nian. It was big and powerful. It also looked like a lion with a horn on its head. Every Chinese New Year's Eve, Nian would attack a village by the sea. It would eat its crops, animals, and even people. Everyone lived in fear of Nian. They didn't know how to stop Nian, so they would run and hide in the mountains. They were doing just that when a stranger came to their village one year.
Konnichiwa. I am a samurai warrior. Samurai warriors first started to train and fight over 1,000 years ago. It is a great honor to be a samurai. The life of a samurai warrior is hard. We have to wear heavy armor and carry long swords. The armor even covers our faces. We wear special capes. They protect us from attacks from behind or the side. The capes are also a status symbol. They let everyone know we are noble and they can never be rude to us. A samurai warrior must fight for the family they serve. There was a lot of fighting in old Japan. Most of the country was split among hundreds of small families. Each family has samurai warriors to fight for them. There are no samurai in modern Japan. However, the teaching we learned can still be found today in everyday life and in modern Japanese martial arts.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 欢迎收看我们1分钟的单元。在这1分钟时间里面，我们要复习4个单字，还会造句练习。同学们，您都准备好没？好，1分钟计时，开始。第一个单字是怪兽，怪兽要怎么说呢？叫做 monster。monster 像小时候宝可梦，我们是叫口袋怪兽，那就是 pocket monster。OK，the sea monster in the movie looks scary。那部电影里面的海怪，海里的怪兽看起来好吓人啊。第二单字是狮子，狮子叫什么 ？lion。 lion. Have you ever heard a lion roar? 你听过狮子吼吗？狮子吼的那个动词叫 roar, R-O-A-R. OK， 第三个单字是前戏，像我们指圣诞节前戏啊，或是跨年夜，那是不是元旦的前戏？像我们这个字叫做 eve， 它也可以指重大事件的前戏。It's natural to feel nervous on the eve of a big exam. 在大考前夕感到紧张是很自然的。第四个单字是攻击，攻击要怎么说？叫做 attack， 它可以当动词或当名词。我们这边是要用动词造句。The swimmer was nearly attacked by a shark. 那名泳客差一点就被鲨鱼攻击了。好，太好了，我们已经在1分钟之内复习4个单字咯，同学们表现很棒诶，那我们就下次见咯，拜拜。
See you next time.
Thank you.